That's quite diabolical, actually. You become king, the first thing you do is marry your brother's girl. Some men just cannot be trusted with power, and I'm one of them. Forget Feyre and Tamlin. Forget Violet Sorrengail and Xaden Riorson. The love story to read these days is Peyton Grey and Kai Aza, star-crossed lovers from the kingdom of Ilia. Lauren Roberts is about to take us on a journey through which we will witness their love blossom and endure horrifying trials, betrayals, and the impending outbreak of a devastating sickness that ravaged their land in the thousands. Of course, we will not be seeing any of that, as we've decided to read the third and final book in the trilogy first. But hey, just because I've boarded the train at the last stop doesn't mean I didn't pay for my ticket. And you can bet your sweet butt cheeks that I will still expect good service.
That was very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good. You're doing intros from now on. That was very good.
So what did you think of the book?
Pause this video right now.
You got it first.
Go and read Fearless by
Lauren Roberts. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
So, what do you think of the book?
Yeah, no, I liked it. I've never historically been a classic fantasy kind of person. So this was very Lord of the Rings for me. I'm not really a Lord of the Rings person. I've seen it, enjoyed some of it. It's not really my cup of tea, but I can still kind of appreciate things about it.
You say that, but you like Harry Potter.
That's not classic fantasy though, no way.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not. It is, but it's not like classic fantasy. There's difference. There's difference. It's like, for me, Game of Thrones isn't classic fantasy. There's zombies in it, there's dragons, there's magic, there's castles, there's princesses.
Or isn't?
It isn't.
Oh, okay.
It's not classic fantasy. So, classic fantasy is like, they don't swear, they don't go to the toilet, you don't see them eating, classic fantasy is like Lord of the Rings. Like, the fantasy characters all have weird names, like Beeble and Booble and Bubble.
All right, fair enough. What did I think of the book?
Yeah.
I hear you ask.
I tried.
Yeah, but you didn't. I thought I was really going to dislike it. I was thinking, I don't want to read this. But there was things I liked, and I enjoyed some of it, and I would read more.
Fair enough.
But you said this is the third and final.
Third and final. That's what I heard. I was thinking 3. It can't be, because when these things start making money, there's no way. Then even the publishers will be like, "You better write another 2 at least."
I don't think it's gonna finish. And also, where the story ended, yes, it was an ending, but you expect some what do you call it? I don't know. You expect something big, a big finale,
a culmination,
something. I'll speak about it more.
Yeah.
I'll speak about it more, but we should just get into it, I guess.
We should.
How many you got? I got 4. I think.
I've got 5.
All right,
Let me go. I know what this is. I could smell it a mile off. This is Fourth Wing. This is Akatar. This is a fantasy novel fix for fantasy novel lovers when you finished everything else on your fantasy novel list. Complete with hard to pronounce names like Payton and light skinned names like Kai. You know what I'm talking about. In the opening of Fearless, our main character Payton is on trial for murdering the king of fantasy realm Ilia, and her punishment is she has to marry him and become the queen. Doesn't sound so bad to me. Imagine you murder King Charles, your punishment is unlimited power, wealth and influence. That'll show her. So immediately I was just thinking, what kind of punishment is that? Because like, even later when they try and like put her through, you have to go through these trials to show you're worthy. What are you going to do? No. Now what? You gonna kill me?
Yeah, no, they were gonna kill her.
No, but it's like, you could have just done that.
Yeah.
You could have done that after I killed the king. I don't get like the whole, but like killing the king is fine, but not doing this game, like that's all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so strange to me.
Forced is the word. So, it's funny, yeah?
That's just the way you said it. It's the way you said it. Forced.
So, Payton loves Kai, but she's marrying Kai's brother's Kit. Brother's Kit.
Yeah, I was like, what?
So, Payton loves Kai, but she's marrying Kai's brother Kit, who's the king. Payton and Kai at every opportunity tell each other how much they love each other and how they wish things could be different. This is what they're doing behind the king's back. Yeah. Kai's own brother. They are literally sneaking around together in the castle at every opportunity. Payton says to Kai, "We can't keep doing this. I want to make the marriage between me and Kit real. Yes, you have my heart, but I have to give him my life." It feels forced. It feels like we've created a problem. We've created some reason that means that there's now sexual tension between Payton and Kai. It's almost like the author thought to herself, I need to tease the audience somehow, so I need a reason that Payton and Kai are not allowed to be together. Because the reason that was given was the king wants to marry an ordinary as a symbol to show that their line is no longer an elitist society. He could have married any ordinary. He didn't have to be Paden. And the king himself didn't even have to marry an ordinary either. Just simply marrying an ordinary into the royal family is enough of a statement. So Kai could have married Paden.
Legit, just married to your brother. What the hell?
So I really needed a more compelling reason for all of this unnecessary sexual tension. So do you think it was forced?
Whoa, you've put me onto something there because like
You didn't see it before?
no, I did see a little bit of it, but
Because that stuck out, you know. That stuck out for me, you know.
in feudal times, that is literally what younger brothers were for. Marry this bitch to advance my military cause or whatever it was. So like legit, that is
Well,
exactly.
that's what every marriage was for. Not even
That's-
just
yeah,
but
that's true
Not
as well.
just the younger brother, but yeah, you're right. That is what
Legit,
they
they
do.
wouldn't. That's
But-
literally what Kai would be for these days.
exactly. So do you think it? If you think it was. Do you think it was clearly forced, or do you think it was okay? Because I feel like that's something that needed fixing.
I will leave it at okay for now. And the reason I'll leave it okay for now is because there's 2 previous books that we didn't read. There could be all sorts of answers in those. So that's the only reason why I'll leave it as it is for now. But I think you raise a great point, to be honest, because you need to, if you're going to do the star-crossed lovers thing, there can't be an easy solution to this that they just didn't think of, because that's just going to take me right out of the experience of reading the book. Do you know what I mean? Because like, if this is your whole motivation, like let's say I'm Kai, whatever, my whole motivation for this whole story is I love this girl and I can't be with her.
Yeah.
Like, if there's an easy reason why you could be with her, that now basically destroys the whole book. I don't want to read it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the answers could easily be in the first 2. Who knows? We'd never see them meet, you know?
Fair enough.
But that's pretty much the only reason why I give them a blind.
Benefit of the doubt. There.
Pretty much benefit of doubt. We really have thrown ourselves in the deep end, haven't we? I've just discovered that Fearless is book 3 in the Powerless trilogy. So this really is the payoff book. This is the episode where all the groundwork laid by the author should culminate in something jaw-droppingly satisfying and catapult Lauren Roberts to the top of the bestseller charts. What I've found since we've started doing these videos, however, is if this book is good enough to make me want to go back and read the first 2, then that's a huge testament to the author's prowess. I'm not really a classic fantasy guy though, so it'll be difficult to win me over to the dark side, especially early on. I don't like to get my knickers off on the first date. I'm gonna make you work for it. Work for it.
I would read more if I had to. I wouldn't say, "Oh, I need to go." And
You're not gonna rush out and buy the next one.
Yeah, you know, it was okay.
Catch you at WH Smith after this. You know? Just remember you said that.
Wow, I can't actually say I hate the book. Before I started reading, I was sure I was going to hate it, and I don't. Embarrassingly, I have to say I'm not bored either. We are even about to go globe-trotting. Paden on her second trial, and I have to say, I'm not a fan of this trial business. Trials don't seem like a 3rd book thing. 3 books in, and we're doing trials now. That's definitely first book territory.
Yeah, for
You'd
sure.
expect in a 3rd book we should be fighting a war or something of that nature.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, Paden's second trial, she had to set sail on dangerous mythical beast-infested waters so that she could go and negotiate on behalf of the king for free trade. The elites had cut themselves off from everybody else, and years later, they were struggling for resources, so they had to open their borders. So Paden was given a crew, and was assured that they would not kill her in her sleep, even though everybody openly despises that the king is going to marry her, an ordinary. So obviously Kai steps up and says, I will go with her and protect her. He just wanted...
Yeah, we know what he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted some time alone with her.
100%.
And while the crew, and surprisingly, the crew tried to kill her while Kai was on the ship, which I didn't see coming. They literally drugged him, and he got there just in time as they were going to gut her and throw her overboard. So yeah, as I said before, I was enjoying the story. It's an easy to read. It wasn't confusing, and we've not read any of the other books, and we're still able to keep track of what's going on. I like that there was only basically 3 characters, and then of course the one that Paden wants to kill, Blair. So it was easy to follow, which I appreciated. Did you find it difficult to read or easy to read?
The one reason this is what always confuses me as well. This is why I say I'm not a classic fantasy guy. The names of places, the names of people.
Yeah, I ignore that.
It all just, but yeah, see, I try and ignore it, but it's like I feel like I'm ignoring the whole story
That
now.
goes in and out.
Is
Like
it?
when you told me the kingdom of Ilial or this,
Yeah.
bro, I was like, oh, it's that way. It's cool. I ignore all of that shit.
Maybe
the only
that's the
things
answer.
that I need to know are the main characters. I don't even remember there being many side characters. I mean, Paden had a maid or whatever.
She had a
talk
best
to.
friend or something.
Or
And
what like
obviously
that.
there's 2 brothers.
But yeah, like I don't know any of those other stuff.
true.
And what I thought was weird is why did they have Kit and Kai names so similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know
Maybe
his
they
name
was
was
trying
Malachi.
to. Maybe they was trying to shut. It always is. There's always a bad boy called Malachi in these fancy. I'm telling you, they always pick bad boy names. You're telling me
That's what you want.
Kai's the ultimate bad boy name. Come on, like it
Yeah.
rhymes with die. Kai, it's the ultimate bad boy name. And then obviously anything with an X as well.
Yeah.
Zayden.
Yeah.
They always do the same thing. It actually triggers me. But I need to stop being triggered to start copying. Is what I need to do. But yeah, that's probably the answer. Just ignore it all.
Yeah, no, I ignore all that stuff. What's the point? Who cares what land they're in? It's a made up thing anyway. I just want to know what happens.
cares?
So we'll get to the end. So yeah.
I just realised why I didn't. You see your second point about fixing the love story.
That was my first point.
Was that your first point? I just realised why it didn't stick out to me at the time because I didn't actually realise Kit and Kai were brothers until like later than I should have. But I'm actually just now realising that Kai and Kit are brothers. Okay, that's somewhat engaging.
Well, they're not.
Kai has to watch his brother marry the girl he loves and he's trying not to crash out. That's quite diabolical, actually. You become king, the first thing you do is marry your brother's girl. Some men just cannot be trusted with power, and I'm one of them. I feel like I know which way this is going to go. I've read too much chicklet to not see this coming. Kai and Kit will have a showdown at the end of the book, and Kai is going to murder his flesh and blood brother and his king just to get some pussy, which is a disgrace. My predictions are getting better. Not that they could get much worse, actually.
So that was quite good.
That was quite good. It was quite good, but
you were close.
In my opinion,
you had the right answer, but the wrong
yeah,
working
there
out.
you go, there you go. Exactly. I'm reluctant.
They should have done it that way, probably.
They absolutely should have, but I'm reluctant to even really give myself any kind of credit for that because I feel like the author was like screaming that there was going to be some form of, even the fact that they've got more or less the same name, like we said with the K's and whatnot, and it just seemed like she was trying to do this opposite sides of the same coin thing, and the imagery was a bit forced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that always seems to be like, a woman's greatest desire. Can the box be so good I turn you against your own family?
Your own brother.
Like
your own brother.
that
He's
is-
sneaking around behind his
for
brother's
sure.
back, lipsing up. I don't
Come
know
on,
if
man.
they had sex. There was one scene that she was on the edge of the bed, and she was naked or something
I know
like
what
that.
I would have done.
And it didn't.
Just steel would have been sealed if that was me.
But yeah, no, it was bad form, as you like to say.
Yeah, terrible form. Shocking.
Payton turns into a cold-blooded killer. In a moment of rage, the room caught fire. Instead of her making her timely escape, she actually uses this opportunity to attack Blair. The floor was already on fire, and she held Blair's face on the ground, burning her alive and ultimately killing her. So Payton was hellbent on avenging her friend that Blair had killed in the previous book. For the whole book, she'd been fantasizing about killing Blair. Obviously, this happened in previous books. We don't know anything about that, really. I'm surprised they killed off Blair. I thought she was an interesting character, and I would have liked her and Payton to eventually become friends somehow. I thought that maybe in one of her trials, she would have to exercise mercy, and part of that would be forgiving Blair. But honestly, I think that the author made a mistake here. I think she shouldn't have killed Blair off in a random fire in a castle. And in fact, I thought that was going to turn out to be an illusion anyway, because of the randomness of the fire. I thought that was suspicious. But what the author should have done is save Blair to be for the third trial. Instead of Payton fighting Kai, she should have been fighting Blair, because we know that Kai can't die. And I definitely didn't like the body double thing that the author did to have us believe that Kai was actually dead. I don't think anybody for a second thought that Kai was really dead. I mean, the author even dragged it out. You know, they normally give the reveal that he's still alive quite quickly. The author dragged this one out to try and really sell it to us, and we're like, Kai's not dead. We've seen this before.
Yeah, there's two people you can't kill, especially if there's romance going on. You can't kill either of the lovers, and if you're going to, it has to be right at the end after we've already had all the. You can't kill them like halfway through or in the beginning.
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense. So that's just against the rules, totally.
So why bother tease us with that? There's no need. You just
She expects us to wet our knickers and then be relieved that Kai's alive. Like, come on, man. My knickers remain firmly dry. Huggies stay dry through the night. I have to admit, I'm actually a bit bored. Payton and Kai.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know, right? Payton and Kai.
Take it back.
Never. Payton and Kai are star-crossed lovers. I get that. I'm not really too bothered about missing out on this story or any of the build-up. I feel pretty confident that will be the same sort of Violet and Zayden sort of thing. But what I really want is for the author to draw us in with some action. typically with this genre, you get a lot of fancy name character fights, fancy name demon in the forests of fancy name place with the sword of fancy name. And I think to myself, wouldn't it be good if I had a blasted clue what any of this was or looks like? So that's really my issue, but I'm going to refer back to your advice and just try and block it all out.
You know what? I'm listening to you waffle on there, and I'm joking. Listen, it's made me think, because you keep trying to create comparisons between this and other fantasy books. But it was very light on the sex scenes, which is
that's a good point, to be
quite
fair.
different. We don't see that at all. And also the book started with a definition or a distinction between love and lust, which was very strange because these are normally lust-filled, filthy.
I know, right? It's like they've been
things.
watching our channel.
Yeah, but yeah, it was very, very light on the sex scenes. I wonder if that's how it was throughout the whole trilogy, because if they still ain't had sex now, we're 3 books in.
Do you know what I mean?
How long is he? She's waiting for marriage. That's
This
what it
deal ain't
is.
sealed, bro. What's going on? That's probably why his bro took her. He said, you ain't serious. So I would have dealt with that long time.
Mind-blowing twist. Kai is a bastard, just like you. He's not related to his brother. So the queen died in childbirth. The baby survived, but unfortunately it was born without any powers. And worse, it was a girl. So the king disposed of it. Turns out that baby was Paden. Was it a good plot twist? Yeah, I guess, but I'm sorry I didn't appreciate it because we've obviously jumped onto book 3. I can imagine the loyal fans losing their shit upon finding out this revelation. I think that was a good way of ensuring that Paden and Kai can finally be together because Kit and Paden are actually siblings. So it'd be wrong of them to consummate the marriage now. Or is it too late? And he should do his duty.
Well,
They're already married.
Hey,
They
all I'm
kissed.
going to say, what happens in Ilya stays in Ilya. When in Ilya, do as the Ilyans do. Whatever their thing is, then
He made a vow though, didn't he?
He's a king. Who makes a law?
He made a vow. He needs to further his line.
100%, man.
The Egyptians did it.
Bro, and we know we don't have to them. We don't as well.
I just have 3 questions. 1, why did Kit take a dose of the plague? That was stupid.
Oh yeah, no, that was.
There was
I wanted
no
to
need
see
for that.
someone take it though. I was like, they've been talking about this for so long.
2, why did the author kill Kit in an accident like that? Especially when he was already going to die of the illness.
Yeah, that
Why?
as well. Kai should have murdered him.
Why? 3, why was the book 18 hours long?
Thank you.
What
Thank you.
was
Thank
that
you.
about?
That's what I thought your
There was
first question was going to be. That's disgraceful
There
length.
was no need for that at all
Disgraceful
whatsoever.
length.
Just for these lot to be doing the
It's
dance.
not about how long it is, it's about how you use it.
And possible plot hole, Kit had the plague and he kissed Paden. So she should have it now too, right?
100%. And like, come on, that's a blunder. I think you could pass a common cold by kissing somebody.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
plague that they
Yeah,
was
exactly.
talking about
Yeah,
that devastated thousands of people, that has to be at least be airborne.
Well,
Or like easily transmitted.
It has to be easily, and so it's definitely got to be able to transmitted through
Yeah,
a kiss.
come on,
Definitely.
there's no
If
way.
it's not airborne, which it can't be because he's been walking around and it hasn't
yeah,
been spread.
yeah, fair
it
enough.
has to be spread somehow.
Yeah, exactly. It can't be like
Because they
blood
put
to
the plague,
blood.
remember,
Otherwise it would never
whatever
spread.
Paden delivered to the other lands, that had a plague in there as well. That was riddled with a plague too.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, the king revealed his marvelous plan. You know, his evil genius plan.
Joker. Top Joker for that.
Yeah. he just-
You never do that, man. Just keep your mouth shut till it's
yeah,
done.
and then, so after he revealed his evil genius plan, then Kai and Kit decided to have a sword fight where they were pretending. And it was just some accident. And he killed the
it's
king.
a
Like,
Joker.
what are we doing here?
Yeah, wasting time is what we're doing.
Yeah,
Wasting
after all that,
18
yeah.
hours as well. It's not a short amount of time.
So yeah, that's me done.
I've got one more. Let me go for it. Yep, I called it. Kit and Kai get their showdown, and we get the moment where Kai kills Kit, or as I like to call it, the KKK moment. What I thought was weird is that Kit was supposedly this power-hungry, super evil guy who was willing to unleash the plague upon innocents. As soon as Kai accidentally kills him and takes the crown and his wife for himself, he's like, yeah, Kit had the right idea. Let's pretty much do what he was doing. Sort of a more pacifist central approach to making Ilya great again. Anyway, that's not too much of a plot hole or anything. I get what they were trying to do with the whole tragic arc of the tyrannical despot ruler who had too much ambition. It's just Darth Vader all over again, isn't it? I kind of liked Kit as a character because he gave the story a bit of a moral tug of war with the moral applications of unleashing what is essentially a chemical weapon upon unsuspecting people. But it's all too easy to justify such things. morally grey or greyish characters will always be 1,000 times more interesting, to me at least, than your typical black and white heroes. So I thought Kit, at the very least, was an attempt by the author to keep things interesting in terms of the characters and their motivations.
Well, it had to be.
It had to be.
If not, without Kit, it would have just been a normal love story. King
Exactly.
loves queen and they walk around and.
But even if there was like a
and...
king who wasn't Kit, or like someone else, but just like a normal king or whatever, or just someone who wanted to, you know, be a black and white hero, again, it would have been a normal love story. So it wasn't just the presence of someone there. It was him, you know, being morally grey, which I thought made the whole story interesting, to be honest. Or that was what I found most interesting. So to write...
and he had daddy issues as well. Exactly.
Which villain doesn't, as you pointed out. I forgot what book that was again, that you noticed that one, but I think it was a great observation.
This is great qualities for the wife too. Anyway, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh yeah,
got that on camera,
with
mate.
my quote of the day. Oh no. So, what do you think out of 5?
I'm gonna go with 2 again. Again.
But you gave Fourth Wing 5 stars.
6 stars. But yeah, do it again.
So what was this missing then? Where did the author go wrong?
1, I'm gonna mark it down because it's not really my cup of tea, which feels unfair to do. Feels unfair, but guess what? I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway.
You can't do that.
2 was too long, way too long.
Definitely too long.
Which should really be that should really be point number 1.
Yeah, unnecessarily long.
3, I felt like there was only one interesting character in it. Again, that was Kit. I wasn't really interested.
Blair.
I mean, I guess.
She was cheeky.
I suppose, but it's like cheeky for 18 hours. Like, that's not cheeky, bro.
So what? We missing some action then? Would you say?
I suppose, yeah. Missing. No, just cut it down. Like, you don't have to put more action if you don't want to. Just cut it down, man. Like, there's no.
I think we needed more. Like as I said, trials for book 3.
That was a great point as well.
What are we doing here? It was
that
supposed to
was
have
a great
more
point.
for the story.
Like, you want the war at the end, innit? Like you said.
This is why I said it doesn't feel like the end of a book. Or end of a trilogy, because what did we really do? She became queen and had to. They made some trial things.
So does that mean the war was in like book 1?
I don't know.
They had the war, and then after Krypton Factor.
There's got to be something. There's literally got to be something going on. Like, what's the point of reading if it's just this?
But remember, Game of Thrones did that. Remember, they killed the Night King and they had to fight Cersei after. Like,
yeah, but they still had the war though. They had it.
It was somewhere. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, what do I think out of 5? I hear you ask.
Of course. You gotta go 3. You realistically can't go more than 3.
Well, I was.
If you say 2, you're a waffler because I should slap you because you just told me. How could I say 2?
I don't. It was okay.
Yeah, 2.
3 is
pushing
generous.
3 is pushing it.
Generous.
In my opinion, that's pushing it.
You know how close 3 is to 4?
3 has to mean I'll read it again, or I'd be tempted to read it again.
No, I think 4 means I will read it again.
Yeah, and 3 means I could read it again. I could like if the day should ever.
No, but the thing is, I wouldn't mind reading 1 or 2 because of this.
Fair enough.
Would you agree with that?
I would read it for this. Obviously.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But now you've read this, would you not? You know, if I said we're reading the second one, you wouldn't go.
No, I would. I can't lie.
You
would.
would.
But again, that's not necessarily just because of this, but again, it's because of the genre. I know it's going to be more of the same, you know, fancy names, fancy places. So it's just personal aggravation. This, I don't think I would mind. If you was like, pick one of this genre to read, and it end up being this, I wouldn't mind.
The new book just came out. This
just
came out
right now.
It just came, this one. No, this Fearless is the new one.
Oh yeah.
So if they were going to drop a new one, and there was a new Fourth Wing, which one would you read?
Oh, new Fourth Wing for sure. But
because I'm with that series, I'm just rolling my eyes now.
I mean, I get it. I suppose actually.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Maybe I just went with what's familiar actually.
Yeah, that's what I think you're doing.
Yeah,
that's what I think you're doing.
Maybe I've historically always done that, though, innit? Like with movies and such.
That's what women do. They go back to their ex. They want it. It's familiar.
How did we turn? How did this end up with us cooking women?
Increase the body count.
No, but I'm just saying, how did this end up with us cooking women? We're just talking about like books and stuff.
Well, this is their genre.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's finish with quote of the day. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Quote of the day. It's not really a quote, but this is something we can all do. Okay. Even you guys can do at home. I want everybody to raise their right hand. Now raise it a bit higher. and ask yourselves why you didn't give 100% the first time.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm going to start saying that. That's beautiful. That's brilliant.
You like that one?
Nah,
yeah?
that's very good.
Impressed you with that one,
That's
yeah?
very good.
It's not really a quote. No,
It's not really a quote,
kind
but
of
nah, that's still,
motivational.
yeah. That's a quote. That works.
It's a motivational speech.
It's a mini speech. Almost. Which that's all a quote is, really, a mini speech. It's just one that someone has said before. That's all it is. A mini speech that someone said before.
Yeah, you're actually right. You're actually absolutely right. And
nah, that's really good. I shouldn't have argued for your one, so I could win. No, that is really good. Got caught with that one as well. What would you do if I just went like this, like randomly?
There's only one person who does that. We killed him a long time ago.
Or he killed himself.
Yeah, exactly. Or he survived.
He's still alive today. Quote of the day. My fake plants died because I did not pretend to water them.
No, what
I
does
just want
that
to put it
mean?
out there. I have zero clue what
Yeah,
it means. I have
see?
zero clue what it means. I have zero clue. I was hoping you was going to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was
My
like,
fake plants
my first
died.
thoughts were like, I like this, but what does it mean? And then I'm searching, buffering, nothing.
My fake plants died because I did not pretend to water them. Google it, see what it means. What do you guys think it means? Put it in the comments.
Well, it's time to end. I think that's all.
100%.
Don't know what we're reading next week. I've got to figure it out.
I've got to figure it out. Hopefully not more of this.
No, I don't think so. So yeah, all right. Well, thanks for listening, I guess. Till next time.